Having just left the theater after seeing the 2025 reboot of I Know What You Did Last Summer, I feel confident in my thought that this movie was not at all conceived to be anything that would even remotely possess what I like to call narrative value. First off, the story beats were, for the most part, Xerox copies from the first movie, meaning you will pretty much get the exact same story we saw back in 1997, almost down to the film's mini beats. I'm serious. Same exact opening image, same catalyst, same debate, same amount of time passing between the debate and Act 2, same fun and games section, same finale. The writers basically took out the screenplay book and followed it to a T here. Then, they brought back the surviving members of the cast from the original movie, and even one that didn't survive, so that people my age would go see it, which makes the film's regurgitated beat progressions that much more egregious. Now, I thought the casting was fine. Shout out to Madeline Klein. She's actually from this area, and I actually spoke to her a few times back in the day about collaborating before she hit it big on Outer Banks. I thought the acting was serviceable, and so was the directing. But again, where the film really loses its way is the writing, both big and small. I mean, most of the male characters are in this story simply to be killed off, and you see that pattern emerging pretty early in the story. All the female characters have plot armor that doesn't even make sense from a narrative perspective, especially when you find out what the twist is in the finale. And though I won't spoil that particular plot point here in this video, I'll just say that it was the most ridiculous and wrong-headed writing decision I've seen from a group of writers in quite some time, especially since we went through the exact same thing the plot point reveals in the first movie. But once I found out that almost all the writers on this film were female, it kind of made a little bit more sense. What was equally ridiculous was the film's thesis statement in the last scene, and we actually do get a statement here in this movie, along with what I thought was one of the most boneheaded spoilers in the event that Columbia, Screen Gems, or Sony decide to keep this party going right before the film cuts to black. Now, overall, I'd give this film a 45% or a 4.5 if you're thinking IMDb score. And look, I might have been able to be convinced to give this film a half a point back if the writers had just wiped the IKWYDLM slate clean and told us a modernized version of the same story we were told 30 years ago, but that's not what they decided to do here. No, this story exists in the same universe as the original, which absolutely blew my mind. Long story short, this film is everything wrong with modern Hollywood in that it tries to herald lazy storytelling and manipulative casting in order to resell a movie they've already sold to the public once before. And what's really crazy is that they went through all this to reboot a movie that currently has a 45% on Rotten Tomatoes. My 2 cents, with Superman currently in theaters and Fantastic Four First Steps coming in a few days, you can save your money. Because crazy as it might seem in this particular case, if you've watched the 1997 movie, then you've already seen this movie before.